नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. Myself, JBN Dr. Ravi Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine, and Faculty of Homeopathic Science at Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In this series of lectures, we are discussing about the various diseases of the adrenal gland. In the last few lectures, we have discussed about the introduction to the adrenal gland, and we have also discussed about the Cushing syndrome. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about hyperaldosteronism. I believe you must all have gone through the e-notes and also the book for which I have asked you to go through and learn about the normal anatomy and physiology of the adrenal gland. And also now I believe that you must have covered the questions, answer to the questions that I have given on the e-notes that is given in the portal. So let us today start with the adrenal hyperaldosteronism. Hyperaldosteronism is a very small topic, but it is a very important topic. So let us try to understand what is hyperaldosteronism and what are the clinical features with which the patient can present with hyperaldosteronism. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about hyperaldosteronism, its clinical features, the diagnosis, and the management of the same. So let us start with the hyperaldosteronism. Now, in hyperaldosteronism, what is happening is there is hypersecretion of the adrenal mineralocorticoid aldosterone. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the anatomy of the adrenal gland and also the various hormones that are secreted by the adrenal gland. So let me have a quick review of what we have discussed. I believe you must all have also learned about all those hormones that are secreted by the adrenal gland. So we have discussed about the glucocorticoids that was secreting the cortisol from the adrenal cortex. And let me have a quick review of all the hormones and all the functioning of the adrenal gland before going to the hyperaldosteronism. So this will be a quick review. We have discussed about the glucocorticoids, we have discussed about the mineralocorticoids, and we have discussed about the adrenal androgens. So all these things are secreted by the adrenal gland itself. The glucocorticoids, they were secreting cortisol that was responsible for the circadian rhythm. Now, I believe you must all be well aware of the circadian rhythm. That is, these hormones like cortisol, it is stimulated not uniformly throughout the day, but more in the morning and less at night. So that is known as the circadian rhythm. And cortisol was rising during the stress or any kind of illness. The function of glucocorticoids was to maintain the cerebral glucose supply during the starvation, and it is inhibiting the potential damaging inflammatory response to the infection and injury. The second variety was the mineralocorticoids, that is aldosterone, about which we are going to talk today, hyperaldosteronism. What is the function of the aldosterone or the mineralocorticoids? It binds to the mineralocorticoid receptors in the kidney, and it causes sodium retention and increased excretion of potassium and protons. So the mineralocorticoids, these binds to the receptors in the kidneys and causes sodium retention and increased excretion of the potassium and protons. Third variety is the catecholamines. Catecholamines are only a small proportion of circulating noradrenaline, or it is also called as norepinephrine, and it is derived from the adrenal medulla. Much more is released from the sympathetic nerve ending. And the next variety is adrenal androgens, that is secreted in response to the ACTH. And these are the most abundant steroids in the bloodstream and important in initiation of the puberty. So this was the function of the normal adrenal gland. Now, let's talk about the hyperaldosteronism. All right. So now I believe you must all have recalled about the aldosterone, from where it is secreted and what is the function of aldosterone. So now we come to the condition of the hyperaldosteronism. Many times a patient comes to you with a complaint of hyperaldosteronism. All right. So what is hyperaldosteronism? What are the symptoms that are produced? How to diagnose and manage such case? This we are going to discuss today. So hypersecretion of the adrenal mineralocorticoid is known as the hyperaldosteronism. Okay, aldosterone is secreted from the mineralocorticoid. We have glucocorticoid, we have mineralocorticoid, and we have sex steroids. So mineralocorticoid is secreting the aldosterone, and more if any condition is arising that is responsible for the excessive production of the aldosterone, that is known as hyperaldosteronism. It can be divided into two types of categories based on the cause. Hyperaldosteronism, it refers to the it can be primary cause or secondary cause. So there can be primary hyperaldosteronism and secondary hyperaldosteronism. So primary hyperaldosteronism, it refers to the adrenal cause, whereas the secondary hyperaldosteronism is responsible with the extra adrenal stimulus. So whenever the cause is related to the adrenal itself, it is known as the primary cause. And if the cause is related outside the adrenal gland, then it is known as the secondary hyperaldosteronism. So in the primary hyperaldosteronism, it refers to the adrenal cause, and it can be due to, number one, there can be adrenal adenoma, there can be bilateral adrenal hyperplasia, and there can be, it can rarely be glucocorticoid suppressible hyperaldosteronism. The secondary hyperaldosteronism, it is used when there are extra adrenal stimulus for renin, and renin secretion is present, as in we can have the renal artery stenosis, or there is decompensated liver cirrhosis or diuretic therapy. So primary hyperaldosteronism can be seen in two conditions. We have primary hyperaldosteronism and we have the secondary hyperaldosteronism. In the primary hyperaldosteronism, it is referring to the adrenal cause that can be due to the adrenal adenoma. We have bilateral adrenal hyperplasia and rarely glucocorticoid suppressible hyperaldosteronism. The secondary hyperaldosteronism, it is used when there is an extra adrenal stimulus for renin secretion is present. That is seen in case of renal artery stenosis, decompensated liver cirrhosis, and diuretic therapy. Now, how to diagnose a case of the hyperaldosteronism? Hyperaldosteronism is diagnosed when there is hypertension is present in the individual and the hypertension is not responding to the treatment. So if a patient is coming to us with hypertension that has increased blood pressure and it is not responding to the treatment, then we can think of hyperaldosteronism. There is persistent hypokalemia or in a non-edematous patient. So there can be a condition of hypokalemia, that is reduced level of the potassium ions in a non-edematous patient who is not relieving potassium wasting diuretics. So if any person who is not receiving any type of potassium wasting diuretics and still we are getting hypokalemia in those individuals who are not edematous. Second condition is in the patient who are receiving potassium wasting diuretics, the diuretics should be discontinued and the potassium supplement should be administered for 1 to 2 weeks. And the third condition is if the hypokalemia persists after supplementation and screening using serum aldosterone and plasma renin activity should be performed. So for the diagnosis, that in the case of treatment-resistant hypertension that is associated with persistent hypokalemia in a non-edematous patient who is not receiving any potassium wasting diuretics, in the patients having potassium wasting diuretics, and the diuretics should be discontinued, and the potassium supplement should be administered for 1 to 2 weeks. And if the hypokalemia is persisting even after supplementation, the screening is done using serum aldosterone and plasma renin activity should be performed. Now, how to treat a case of hyperaldosteronism? For the treatment of the hyperaldosteronism, number one, we can remove the tumor. The adenoma should be removed. Second is the spironolactone. Spironolactone is given in, it is a potassium sparing diuretic that should be used before surgery. Third is the sodium restriction. We have to restrict the sodium. Amiloride, the sodium channel blockers are usually used, and secondary hyperaldosteronism is treated with the salt restriction and correction of the underlying cause. So for treatment of the hyperaldosteronism, we can check the adenoma should be removed, the tumor should be removed. We can prescribe spironolactone, that is a potassium sparing diuretic and is used before the surgery. The sodium restriction should be done. Amiloride, the sodium channel blocker, should be used, and secondary hyperaldosteronism is treated by salt restriction and correction of the underlying cause. So this was all about hyperaldosteronism, and Now it's your homework. I have not covered all the topics with this hyperaldosteronism, and I have intentionally left few important things I have left. So what I was seeing in the last few lectures, that you are not going through the notes in the books. You are just relying on the e-notes and the video that I'm giving to you. So today I decided to do something different. I am not giving you a lot of things with this lecture, and it's your homework to go through the e-notes and also the book, and you have to check what are the things I have left in this, and then you have to supplement, or you have to answer about all those things. Like, I have not discussed much about these clinical features of the hyperaldosteronism. All right, so all these things you have to go through the book, and then you have to write and show it to me. So this was all about today's lecture. I believe you must have understood this session properly. Now it's your homework to go through the book and complete this topic. So this is all for today. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope the session is clear to you. And if you have any query, please mention in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it. So this was all for today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.